like 3 body switching movies all within a short period of time. I don't know. I mean, I'm not quite sure what. I really don't know, how it happened that that show and our show came on the sort of scene at the same time. I mean, actually, ours was started well before that, because Ryan and I have been working on Colony for 2 years. Unfortunately, we're going to come out after them, but we did start before them. And for us, I think it seemed like a fascinating subject. Every country in the world most countries in the world have either been a colony or a colonizer, and this idea that humans are very adept at subjugating each other is something that felt like it was really worth exploring in a television show.
What can you tell us about this Geronimo, this new character that's being introduced today, I believe?
Well, there is the occupation in Los Angeles is about a little less than a year old, and as with many of these occupations, there is a nascent guerrilla movement, resistance movement, and Geronimo appears to be the kind of central leader of this movement, and he's the character that Josh's character is assigned to hunt for the occupation during the pilot.
There you go. That's him. I'm hunting him.
So something that's interesting is what sort of sets Colony apart? Because it's almost like when we were in that zombie phase. Now we're sort of in the dystopian near feature phase. What sets Colony apart from the rest of
Well, first of all, it's not dystopian. We're in Los Angeles, and it's got palm trees and blue sky, and the city itself is beautiful. The incongruity of the fact that we're in this sort of beautiful world, and certain things work great. Like there's no cars except for among the very privileged, so you can zip across LA on a bus in 7 minutes, which is kind of a very non-dystopian fantasy. And it's not in the near future; it's set right now. But I think, there's so many models in the world. If you look at we propped up a regime in Afghanistan and in Iraq and other places. And so what are the consequences of being sort of setting in motion some sort of government system that has been manipulated by an outside force to oversee and ultimately subjugate another group of people? It just felt like it's, something that's happening now, and it's happened very much historically. Juan Campanella, who directed our pilot in the first 2 episodes, came from Argentina, and he brought a whole realm of experience growing up under an oppressive regime in Argentina as a kid, and so he was really familiar with it. Our DP had grown up in Peru in a similar circumstance, so it's not an uncommon experience. It was just something that we felt like we could dramatize.
It's one of the oldest human stories. It's just what we do to each other. So this is not a new, trendy thing. This is an old story set with a backdrop of science fiction, which is also a wonderful tool for us to tell this story without it being CNN. I mean, it's like this is happening now. These things are happening now. This allows the audience to watch it maybe in a different way and not like you would watch the news.
If sci-fi is a prism in which we can look at ourselves, which it's always been used at,
yes.
So what is it saying about us? What do you feel that this is saying about us, about our society?
It's saying a lot of things. It's saying what is right, and it depends on the situation. I mean, who would you save, humanity or your children? Who's first? It poses these big moral questions that colonization does. You either collaborate and rationalize and deal with the shame of that, or you resist and suffer the consequences of that. And there's just a whole world of things that happen in that situation, in that pressure.
What's a quality in your character that you most admire, that you like?
The dialogue.
Love the dialogue. It's fantastic. It hits me on a very deep level. I have 2 children, and really that is my core thing that I love about this character. It's his job. He's the head of the household to protect and reunite his family and help humanity. But he puts his family first because he can't not. So that's where I like that. His order of priorities.
You say Argentina. Why did you choose Argentina?
We chose a director from Argentina because we felt like it was in his bones. I mean, Juan Campanella, we hired him to direct our pilot and then do the first couple episodes because we felt like he really understood this world, and he did. I mean, he felt it, all the way to the core of his being. He had been a film student in Argentina, and his car randomly would be pulled over all the time, and he and his fellow film students would have guns put to their heads, and so he really understood what it was like living under a regime where if you made the wrong mistake, you could end up getting thrown out of an airplane over the ocean. And that felt like, wow, somebody bringing that sort of personal experience to the telling of our story would be really powerful, and it was. He did a great job.
And how quickly we adjust to that and adapt to that as humans. In that same story, he'd been held down, pulled out of their car, gun to their head, and they'd just come from a movie. And so they continue talking about the movie on the ground, with guns to their head, because it becomes normal. And it's just the way humans adapt, and that's very interesting as well.
I know this is probably the last question I want to hear before the pilot has even premiered, but is there sort of a plan in place for a longer story, or do you have any idea where this show goes past season 1 or goes onward?
The great benefit of this is that, Carlton and I have been talking about this project for over 2 years now, and we've had a lot of time. Before we even cracked the story for the pilot, we talked a lot about the world, how this story can evolve and grow. And, we have plans for the show to go well beyond 2, 3, 4 seasons. It's just a super rich storytelling environment where the nature of things can change and shift, so that you're always kind of restarting the rules of this world, and people can come in and out of power, and things can change, and it makes for I think a storytelling world that doesn't have an end to it.
Is there a moment early in the first few episodes, this is for all of you, that you can't wait for the audience to see?
Oh yes.
There are a few. And there is one, but I wouldn't want to say when it is because it's super twisty. And but yes, we have. I think there's a really great moment right at the end of the teaser of the pilot when all of a sudden you realize, that Josh's character is in this kind of incredibly different world. When we actually see these 300-foot metallic walls that surround the city of Los Angeles. That's a pretty cool moment, but on a narrative level, there's a big twist that comes up fairly early on, and I feel bad that I've even said that now.
I was about to I almost just did it.